What up, though, y'all? You are tuned in to Table for Two with Mike and Cherie, the podcast where couples keep it real.
We're talking love, loyalty, and those petty little arguments that start over nothing.
We're not experts.
We're just two people trying not to kill each other while staying in love.
Listen, we appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like our content and you rocking with us, please hit that like bell, subscribe, get notifications when we drop new episodes. Just hit all the buttons, do all the things, y'all.
Do all the things.
It really helps us out.
Yep. And now that we got that out of the way, pull up a chair and let's get into it.
So what topic are we talking about tonight, babe?
We are talking about family patterns and how they affect our relationship. So imagine finally understanding why you keep repeating certain relationship cycles and then gaining power to change them. This video will unveil the surprising ways your family's past is silently orchestrating your present-day connections and your relationship patterns. Prepare to identify these inherited patterns, navigate them with intention, and build the fulfilling relationships you truly deserve. Today, we're unpacking inherited relationship patterns.
Let's go. Okay, so let's discuss a few of these common inherited patterns that we're going to talk about today.
Okay. So,
let's talk about what they are.
All right.
First off.
So, they are learned behaviors and emotional habits that are passed down from the environment that we grew up in and or parents or whoever raised us. That's what they are.
Childhood influences or whoever
we watched while we were growing up.
Right.
Yep. So that can apply to anything, parents, aunties, whatever.
What about Bill Cosby? What about the Cosby Show?
That's hilarious.
I love the Cosby Show.
Then that means that everybody has a perfect relationship then, right?
No, not exactly.
No?
But it was it was a good little model to try and,
imitate.
aim for, yeah.
I like it.
I love the Cosby Show.
Unfortunately, I did not see a lot of those shows. I was very busy as a child. Yes.
You was working in the fields?
That's hilarious. I was not working in the fields.
We didn't have time to watch the Cosby Show, bro.
I was not available. Anyway, moving on.
All right.
All right. Some of these patterns are, number one, this is a biggie for me, silent treatment. The silent treatment, because that is how I saw my dad move in relationships. I had no idea that it would affect me the way that it did. I thought that was, I don't even know if I thought it was anything. It's just what I saw, and I repeated it.
Yeah, you probably didn't think anything of it.
I didn't think anything of it. I just saw him. If he was mad, he would walk around mad and wouldn't say anything to anybody, not me, not us or our moms or anything. And even when we as kids got in trouble, he would kind of do that. Yeah. Or I don't know. And as we became teenagers, we kind of turned it around.
So y'all start giving your dad the silent treatment.
He was like, why y'all mad at me? Y'all the ones that did. Right? So it just goes to show you how that behavior can backfire on you. But we seriously did do that to him, though. It's so funny. So, and I remember we turned around. We was like, we came in late for our curfew or whatever. And then we was the ones walking around like, we're not talking to you, Dad. Like, what? This is what you taught us. But it just goes to show you, what you pick up from your people, your environment, and how you practice it unknowingly in your life.
Another thing could be, expecting perfection or keeping score because that's what you saw growing up, right? Keeping score, you got a little checklist, and every time your spouse does something wrong, you kind of hold it in. And then when you have the argument, you whip out the scroll. Bow.
Let me bring out this and show you what you did.
You did that.
Check.
Right, and you keep scoring. Yeah, so that's something else that you could possibly pick
That's a whole nother argument.
It definitely is.
Now it's like, you keeping score?
Right. MJ, baby, 2-3 to the 4-5. You feel me?
Just definitely keeping score.
I'm scoring 80 tonight, baby.
Because that's what you saw growing up. That comparisons, things like that. What other things can we talk about that could possibly, be something that we repeat in our...
How money was handled in your family. And this could be like your mom handled the bills or your dad paid the bills. Or, it could be that maybe somebody wasn't that savvy with money and you learned that from your childhood.
Ooh, that's a biggie.
You know, maybe
That's
your
a biggie.
mom
That's a huge
or
deal.
your dad would take the money and go do their thing,
Gamble it away.
gamble it away, or buy
Yeah.
the purses, or overspend on groceries, and the rent was late all the time because of it, or whatever.
That
And that's something that can
is truly something
transpire
that can
into-
definitely transfer into how you show up.
Yeah,
That's correct,
absolutely.
without even knowing it.
Without even knowing
Yep,
it. That's just
you're
your
right.
norm. You have
You're
no
right.
idea because that was what you saw in your childhood.
Yep, because a lot of times you unconsciously repeat the behavior and the patterns that you learned
Yeah,
because that's what you
that's
saw.
what you saw.
And you don't even understand how much that impacts you and your relationships and how you show up for relationships.
Yeah, and a lot of
So-
couples they repeat those patterns unconsciously, you know, reacting and not relating.
Right.
So when I say reacting and not relating, you know, it's so second nature to you to react a certain way. You don't relate it to a why, which could be, like we said, you know, something that you learned growing up,
Right.
right? So I think that relating it to something and just being conscious of it can definitely help. So let's talk about like a solution, like some solutions to that issue.
Well, I think one other thing is actually thinking about and even talking about maybe with a sibling, like your default settings or what your norm is. Like, what do we do when mom and daddy did actually did X, Y, and Z? Like, I'll talk to my sister and I'm like, do you remember that time when this and that happened? And sometimes it'll be an aha moment where I'm like,
She's like, girl, you know, you just like that when it comes to that. You're like, oh, man.
yes, actually, yeah. So I think actually learning your default settings and how they show up now in your relationships is key. Thinking about some of the patterns or some of the behavior that we saw and we unconsciously mimic in our relationships now. Not just our partner relationships, but even our friendships and our relationships with our children. All of it,
It stems from
yeah.
from
it
our
stems from-
experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Yep,
let's talk
yep.
about like some of the patterns that we picked up as kids.
All right. Well, what patterns do you think you picked up? If you can just name one, what do you think you do?
I would say one of the patterns that I picked up, I picked up from my dad. I like calling out something embarrassing with my partner in front of others. So I'll be clowning and be joning you a little bit in front of others. And it's
Sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not.
you aren't very happy about it.
I'm not entertained.
Yeah. But you do some funny stuff, babe. And if y'all know her, y'all know she be doing some funny stuff.
That aside, I don't like it.
I know you don't.
Sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not.
It's hard to tell when it's not funny. Thanks, Pops. Got that from you. What about you? What did you get?
Well, something that I realized that I do is I deflect because when I grew up, my dad would always have us come up with a reason as to why we did something. He's like, so what were you thinking? And it was a whole process. It was like, let's go in this little library.
Not
we
the
had
library.
The library. We had the Bible out, and then we had the belt on the other side. The Bible's here and the belt's over here.
Not you gonna get a scripture and then get BTA.
You gonna get a scripture and you gonna get the business afterwards.
Oh, not
so we got the
that.
scripture business, right?
Oh.
So I had to come up with something great.
Yeah.
And thinking that maybe if I came up with something great, I wouldn't get the business, but I'm still getting the business,
You know,
right?
that's interesting because now that you mention that, like thinking back on it, that's a whole thing. Like our
It
parents
is.
used to
It's a
tell
whole
us
process.
when we would do something ridiculous or crazy or silly and got in trouble for it, they'd be like, now why did you do that? Tell me. They want a reason for why you did it. You
Yeah.
can't say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? If you say, I don't know, you got more BTA.
Yeah.
But as a kid,
It's
you
so
probably
true.
really didn't know. What are you supposed to say? I'm sorry,
I
Father. I was
mean,
so inquisitive.
Exactly. It's
I
true.
just wanted to see what would happen.
It's
What you mean you
true.
wanted to see what happened?
Exactly.
You don't like that answer.
It just leads
you
to
give
more
them another answer.
stupid questions. It's like, oh God, just please stop the script. I don't even want the scripture. Just please give me the second part. I'm
how
good.
did
Just give me
that shows up in your relationship.
So that
how?
shows up that I deflect. I'm like, well, I did it because you made me do it.
Right.
Or I did it because I knew you was gonna get mad at me. It really does have an impact on how I respond because now I'm in this fight or flight mode where I'm like in parent child mode and I'm like, oh my God, I have to find a reason. So I got to blame somebody, and somebody needs to pay for like this bad decision that I made, right? That's how it shows up.
Interesting.
It's unfortunate.
I never thought about that.
I
Thanks
never
a
did
lot,
either
parents.
until we.
No, I'm just kidding. I ain't clowning y'all. I was just clowning y'all. But
Well,
for real,
that's
thanks a lot.
not. Well, they parented.
Y'all did what y'all knew to
They
be right, and we
parented
did
in
the
a
same.
way that we thought was good, because I think I did the same thing to my kids.
I did
would be
too.
like, all right, so sit down. Let's talk about now. What were you thinking when you did this? Now, I mean, we may have tried a better solution for it. Maybe we didn't have the BTA out, but we definitely had the book out as to how we were supposed to handle these situations. Be like, come on, sit down. Come on. All right,
Tell me what you were
talk to
thinking,
me now.
son.
But that's a crazy question, because most of the time when you do
If
things,
I
you're
was
not thinking.
I wouldn't have done it.
Right. So that shows up, and you're thinking about punishment, right? You're thinking about consequences.
Yeah.
You're not thinking accountability,
Right.
which is what should be taught.
Accountability should be taught.
Now
Like that.
tell me what you did and how next time you can do something different would
Make a
maybe
better
be a more
decision,
effective question.
Yeah.
But I understand like the thought process behind that question. It just makes sense. It's be like, now what was you thinking when you did that?
Right.
But what does that really solve?
Nothing.
Okay, what was I thinking? Okay, I was thinking that I just was tired of class, and I was tired of the teacher because the teacher's boring, and I just wanted to do something crazy. Okay, now that I know that answer.
Boy, oh boy, you just wanted to do something crazy, huh?
Because there's no
BTA.
solution there. There's no All right, now that the scripture's over, let's get to the good part.
Right.
Absolutely love talking about it's going to hurt you more than it hurts me.
Yeah.
What?
My dad didn't do the
Okay.
scripture part, boy. We got straight to the BTA.
Well, we did the scripture part. We did the whole thing. Like, imagine even that scenario where you think about like just even the trauma of just going into that little library and like, oh God, here it goes. So you're literally
in a library. Y'all had some bread.
not a library. It's like a little room turned into a library. My dad's office. Now I guess you would call it office, but we called it library back
We
then,
had an
which is
office
crazy.
in the 1700s. What?
Not 1700s.
Oh,
Dummy.
I love that. All right, let's talk
Anyway.
about other common
Oh my
patterns
God,
that
so
can pop
dumb,
up in a
so dumb.
relationship.
Well, emotional shutdowns, which looks like what we call now is stonewalling. Putting up a wall. I don't know, stonewalling and putting up a wall, probably the same thing. Versus emotional explosions. I think you're one or the other. You either can walk away from a conversation or you're going to blow up and explode and get it all out. And I think the two extremes are, based on a lot of different things, attachment styles,
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure.
We're not going to
Like
get into
what
that,
you
but
saw. In attachment
yeah,
styles.
I don't have like the explosions. I'm more so walk away.
Yeah.
And you are more so explosion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, also other patterns. One partner avoids conflict, the other chases resolution. Right. And that looks like you're in a conflict, and you have a person that just wants to shut it down, doesn't want to talk about it, and then the other person's following up behind them. Well, I need to have a resolution to this tonight, or we can't go to bed because we can't go to bed mad at each other because maybe that's something
That their parents taught them. My parents taught me don't go to bed mad.
Yeah.
But it sounds good in theory.
Yeah.
That doesn't always work, especially depending on the conversation. Sometimes you need to take a break.
Controlling tendencies. If I don't do it, it won't get done right. That could look like your mom. Your mom tell you to go and clean the bathroom or something, right? And then she's got to go in behind you and clean it up after you because she knows that you weren't going to do it to her specifications. So that's kind of controlling.
And you might see that, right? I do. And I guess the better way to do that would say, okay, this is what you need to clean. This is what you need to get better. But I'm also, I'm not controlling, but I can see how that would be. I'm just more so like frustrated.
You're definitely one of those, like, you know what? Don't
Frustrated
even worry about
enabler.
it. I'll do it.
Frustrated enabler. I'm not controlling. I'm just like, I can't.
Don't worry
I can't
about it. I'll
even.
just do
I
it.
can't even continue to talk you through this. This is crazy.
Right.
Like that. Yeah. Yep. So the problem is that these patterns create cycles, and then you're going through like the same arguments on a daily basis, or you're in a cycle of constantly going like this in a kind of like a hamster wheel where
Same
you're
day,
just
same argument, right?
Yep.
And it might subside for a while, but it comes back up again because there hasn't been a
always shows better.
solution to it.
or resolution.
Or a resolution to
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let's talk about resolution and solution, right? I would say internally, when that pattern shows up, name the pattern aloud when it shows up. You know, this feels like my mom talking through me, or this feels like my dad talking through me. That's something that mom would definitely say. Wow, that's crazy. I got that from my mom and I didn't even know it, right?
Yeah, and what can we do to recreate a pattern, especially if it's not creating something that's positive? What can we do to create something that now makes more sense for us in order to show it better in our relationship?
Exactly.
It's not that it was bad, it just may not be working for what we're doing right now, right?
Exactly.
So you have to create your own way, and you have to create your own rules, and you have to create your own new practices, more so rewiring that brain and that function of how we are moving forward with regard to like how we're going to do things.
Agreed.
Right.
And, you know, also like, you know, we mimic what feels normal, even if it's unhealthy to us, because it's what we know. You know, I'll give an example of, you know, my pops didn't eat sour cream growing up. So I didn't eat sour cream growing up.
That's funny.
Right? And it's just because he didn't do it.
You didn't have sour cream on your tacos?
No, not until I was
and your
24 years
burritos?
old.
That's crazy.
I know.
You missed out on all that goodness, all
Thanks
that
a
sour
lot,
cream,
Dad.
that full fat sour cream.
I thought it was disgusting because you thought it was disgusting, and then I grew up and I learned out.
Crazy.
It's the
delicious.
most delicious thing ever.
And creamy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Also,
Agreed.
what's that green stuff?
Guacamole.
Guacamole. I thought I would never eat guacamole, but it's fairly delicious as well.
It's definitely delicious. I had some of that when I was a kid.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't have guacamole as
delicious.
a child.
Fresh,
I didn't think that existed
fresh
as a
smashed
child.
guacamole.
Did they have that in the grocery stores?
No. Well, I don't know. I had it when I was a kid. I used to go to California all the time, and they would make it.
That makes sense. That makes
The
sense.
family that we went to visit it did like fresh.
That was rich. You had libraries and guacamole out in Cali, soaking up the sun in the 1700s.
rich,
That's
that's
crazy. That is wild.
I'm so down with you. That guacamole.
But like you said,
Oh my
solution-wise,
God.
like when you see that,
Stop
and I
it.
just named that the sour cream pattern was something light, but you know, it could be anything. It could be
It could be an ideal that our parents put into our heads. Like, you're never going to be able to trust somebody. Well, that is a huge statement, and it absolutely shows up so bad in all of your relationships. You're never going to be able to trust somebody. They put that into your brain, and they basically repeat it over and over and over again. Before you know it, now you're growing up and you have a problem with trust because your parents told you that you're never going to be able to trust anybody. Whether or not you are acting it out or if you are verbalizing it over and over again, you are wiring that into your kids' brain. Right?
or you know, nothing's more important than family. Which I know a lot of people feel that way. I love my family. Don't get me wrong, but there's other people that you can love just as much that didn't come out of your bloodline. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. Yeah, I didn't have that. That was not
That wasn't a thing for you.
instilled in me.
Yeah.
No. So I don't have that thing. But once we identify what's happening within ourselves, then we work to try to rewire it, just like what we talked about. We work on trying to instill new wiring or new ideas into our brains, and you have to continue to practice it, and you have to continue to repeat it to yourself, and you have to continue to work on instilling new things in your relationship.
Agreed.
Right?
You know, something could happen. You could say, okay, this is something that I may have like picked up from my childhood and growing up, seeing my mom, dad, or auntie, or whoever your influential person was in your life, is the start of being able to. It may not even be something that needs to be changed. You can pick up good things too. I don't mean to make it sound like it's all bad, right?
We don't want to villainize the parenting.
I'm not trying to villainize parents. You know, it's just whatever your experiences were, what negative and positive come from your childhood and your parenting more than likely.
Right.
Right? So let's talk about tips for breaking the cycle.
Well, I think the first thing in doing that is being self-aware. You have to understand, number one, yourself. Understand the patterns that you may practice that aren't healthy. And your partner will assist you in doing that because they will tell you all the time what is wrong or what might not be.
You talking about me?
No, I'm just talking about I've had two partners.
You're my
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about what partners do. You're my second partner. So I am very experienced in your partner is going to make sure you know what's wrong with you, right? And a lot of times we fight that, but that is your partner is really your mirror. They're going to mirror the things that you give off or reflect. And so they're going to be the ones that tell you about it. Nobody else can really mirror you or reflect what
They don't have that intimate
that part
insight.
of you
Yeah.
like somebody else would, because people get little small pieces of you.
Right.
Your partner gets
it
the
all.
whole part of you. And so they know all those little things, those little idiosyncrasies about you that are irritating and annoying, or things that are patterns of behavior that might not be healthy.
Yeah.
But if you don't identify that, then how can you work on it? How can you work on something that you don't really know about yourself?
Right.
Right.
Or not taking accountability for it, because, you know, if you've been in a few relationships and you're hearing the same thing from more than one relationship, or gripes about the same thing, you might have to
Reflect.
reflect on it.
Reflect.
'Cause, you know,
But you also
whatever.
have to be real about if you're willing to admit that these people have said this, because I know that a lot of times, I mean, even with us, I'll be like, so has anybody ever said this to you before? Like, has anyone ever brought this to your attention? You can either say no or yes or whatever. You know, you can lie to yourself about it because you don't want to have to change. But at the end of the day, that's not going to help your relationship, and it's not going to help you because you're still impacting your relationship in a way that doesn't have to be impacted if you would just take accountability and take some awareness from that moment and say, okay, maybe this is something I need to work on, because yes, this has been brought up several times before. You have to admit it to yourself, right?
So self-awareness. Just remember, you can't heal what you don't reveal.
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to reveal it in order to be able to fix it.
Yeah, and you got to reveal it to yourself first.
Absolutely.
That's the first person you need to reveal it to, and then maybe slide it into your partners.
Yeah. And don't weaponize like your childhood against each other. You know, none of that. You act just like your daddy or you act just like your mama. It's not helpful. It just sparks more resentment and anger, right? Try, pause, and pivot. When triggered, take a pause and choose a new reaction. Like, don't do the same thing you normally would do. If you normally storm off or you normally raise your voice, try doing the opposite for a change. You know what I mean? Replace blame with curiosity. You know, where did I learn this from? I don't know where I got that from. You know what? My uncle such and such used to be like that. That's probably where I got it from. Or I remember when mom and dad had that argument that one time, you know, and reflect on it, right?
Another thing you could do is go to therapy. That's
Very
my favorite.
important. I know
That's my favorite. Or do a couple check-ins, not just to fix problems when you come to this impasse where you can no longer fix it or you can no longer handle what's happening. It doesn't have to get to that point, because therapy is not for problems or just when you can't
When you can't
fix
take it anymore.
Yeah, when you can't take it anymore, but it's actually just to learn healthier habits, and it's hard to learn that when you already have whatever you feel like is your norm.
Right.
Because we learned a whole lot during therapy. So therapy is not a bad thing. It is
It's a rather
like
good
exercise.
thing
It's like exercising. It's
for
kind
your
of helping your
brain and your conscience and your
relationship.
well-being and your relationship. New Year's resolution.
That's hilarious. Go to therapy. Okay. So without intentional change, the next generation repeats the same script. So we are teaching our kids or whoever we are raising unintentionally
By example, right?
the same things that we learned, good or bad or other.
They're watching. And they, you know, just like we watched our parents or whoever we grew up around. Our kids are watching us. So we show them healthy relationships.
Patterns of behavior.
Yeah.
Which is very hard when we don't have that. That's not something that we just naturally have. We have to learn it.
You do have to learn
Right?
it.
So they might learn it later. Maybe we'll have to give them advice, but they learned what they learned.
Yeah.
And now they have to try to relearn everything as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So solution-wise, like how a couple of things that they could do that couples can do now with their younger kids.
They can consciously create their own version of love, communication, and partnership. we have to remember that we're teaching our kids what love looks like, whether we mean to or not, which is what we talked about earlier, intentionally or unintentionally. I used to have this idea like, let's not argue in front of the kids. We have to, not argue in front of the kids, but that creates a idea of perfection. Like, well, mom and dad never argued, so why are we arguing in front of others? So actually having some arguments in front of the kids is probably healthy.
It probably is.
I think I may have learned that also from my parents. I did not see them argue in front of us a lot, and my parents was together up and through, my older age or whatever. Yeah. But I did not see them have I would see them bicker, but I would not see them resolve conflict.
Yeah.
Right. So that's also I didn't see them resolve conflict, which is also a reason why I struggle with resolving conflict, because I never saw them work through. I never saw them argue. I never seen anything. I saw nothing. So
what's interesting about that, because that's one side of it.
Yeah.
And the other side of it is that you can actually grow up not seeing that conflict. And like you said, you could assume, you could grow up and go, I want a relationship like my mom and dad's. Because they never argued. Yeah. That is not even a thing.
It's so true. It's not true.
It's not.
They did it behind closed doors.
They did it behind closed doors, so you thought it never happened.
And I thought that I should do the same thing with my kids. I was like, I don't want them to see us arguing. But at the end of the day, that teaches them that it's like a perfect relationship, and that's not even. That is not even it at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So lots of different things that we're talking about that we pick up from our parents, intentionally or unintentionally, and that we're now learning that is really not healthy for our relationships.
Agreed.
Which I still appreciate everything they did for us. It's not.
For sure.
It's not. They did an amazing job. It's just that we're now learning in the evolution of emotional intelligence that these are things that may affect us and how they affect us and how we move forward, how it impacts our relationship.
I had good things. My dad went to work every day, came home, took care of the household, blah, blah, and that's where I get that from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but there's good things and bad things that you pick up from.
And our kids are going to be doing a podcast in 30 years talking about how so true. Oh, they suck. Yep. So, as a reminder, I guess at the end of the day, we need to make sure that the movie that our kids are watching ends up in self-reflection and healthy relationship patterns, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. We're doing the best that we can, or we did the best that we could when we knew it. If I could do it all over again, I definitely would. I absolutely would. Sure. I don't know what I would do different or how that would turn out, because they're still going to have some issues with, how we parented. However, there's definitely some things that I would definitely do different. A lot more communication and things like that. That's a whole nother podcast. But let's get to the Truth Comes Out segment.
Sir, it's time to get into it. Let's talk about the Truth Comes Out, y'all. This is the segment where we have a little fun.
Throw a little shade.
Throw a little shade. You know what I'm saying? Usually,
and we're not gonna throw a lot of shade today.
Usually I'll be winning.
There's not. Remember the last. When you're winning, you're losing. You're winning, you're really losing. Remember? All right. Go back to episode, I don't know,
put up this
10.
Quick 80.
10.
Kobe.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Who runs from conflict and who chases resolution in our relationship?
I will give you guys 2 seconds to think about it and lock in your answers.
Not locking your answers.
Okay. I chase resolution. And you, what?
I don't like conflict. I don't run from it. I might do a slow jog. There's not a running. I'm not running because nobody's running anymore. Nobody's running at this age. I'm definitely not running, and I'm definitely not running from conflict. I just don't
like it.
Run to it. Some people run to it. Some people, when it says chase resolution, he chases conflict and a little resolution. But I think there's a little bit of drama in that too.
You think so? Aw. Thanks, Mom.
Possibly.
Thanks, Dad. This one over here, like literally, you got 5 minutes to get your point across, boss, and then I'm out.
Because that's all it takes. I mean, what is all the talking involved? It's too
not
much.
true.
Like,
It
what
takes
is
way
it's so
more.
much? Why do we have to get into so much conversation, so many feelings?
All right, fine.
Which one of us has controlling tendencies? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Oh, please.
What?
Cut it out.
You think I'm controlling?
Well, when I said that to you initially when we first started dating, you were so offended.
It was
But now that you've
offensive.
come over to the dark side,
It was
or should I say the light side, you understand what I meant by that.
Been on the light side.
Because controlling doesn't necessarily mean, come in the house at 7 o'clock. It could be things that you just like to see.
Like we talked
in your
about
head
with
go
the
properly.
But so we talked about that earlier with the bathtub reference, right? Analogy where you rather do it on your own to make sure it's done right. So I think that yes, I do have some of that. I'd rather do it myself so that I can make sure it's done the way that I want to do it. So yeah,
Well, there you go.
that would be me.
Look at that. Accountability. That's
Accountability. Hey, guess what? You should try it sometimes.
key. Which one of us tends to enable or over nurture?
I would definitely say that you are an over nurturer and an enabler.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree
Which
with that?
I definitely agree with that. And that definitely points to my childhood. And you know why. It's too long to get into.
Oh, please, just give us a little tidbit.
This is a podcast. Well, I had to take care of everybody. Period. So, I don't know. Cinderella syndrome, middle child syndrome, all of the things.
Yeah.
But it's not a syndrome. I actually did those things.
What does a syndrome mean? Means that it didn't happen?
Well, a lot of times when people say like middle child syndrome, it's just like what you think happened or whatever, or they
Your
think you have
interpretation.
yeah, but it's not a syndrome. It's just
I got
really
you.
what happened.
I
It's
got you.
more so of us saying, oh my God, they're so over dramatic about being the middle child. Well, you're not the middle child, so you don't understand. You get forgotten.
Right.
And you do all the work. So there's that. But it's cool. We're not going to go into that part of
Talk about
everything.
Another episode. Let's talk about the takeaways from this episode, okay? And I'll take the first one. Okay. You can't choose what you inherited, people. It is what it is, right? Like what you learn is what you learn. But you can choose what you keep, right?
I like that.
You don't have to keep everything that you learned. You can take some of the good stuff and sprinkle in some new stuff and
Oh,
get
I like
rid of
it.
some bad stuff.
Not bad stuff. Just learned stuff.
Bad stuff.
I'm not going to say bad stuff. Learned stuff. Learned behaviors that might
Learned.
not be benefiting you in your relationships.
Listen, I already told them I'm not a therapist. I can say bad stuff.
You did say
Get rid of some of the bad stuff.
Okay.
Sprinkle in some new stuff and keep the good stuff. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the awareness that we have with regard to our patterns and our behaviors and things that we learn equals power.
Awareness is power.
It
for
equals
sure.
power
When you know
because that
better,
way,
you can do better.
right? And that way, if we have the power to change it. We have the power to revamp it. We have the power to rewire. So that's going to benefit our relationships all the way across the board.
Agreed.
Right? So we have to build a relationship culture that fits our love and not the blueprint that we grew up with. Not to say that the blueprint is bad, but it might not always be
It might not fit,
beneficial.
right?
It might not be beneficial right now where we are right now. It's evolution. We're all evolving. And so that was where we were back then. But right now, we're in a different space. And so when you know better, you do
You
better.
do better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And love isn't just about finding the right person.
It's unlearning the wrong patterns as well. Right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's really about all we got, y'all. One thing before you leave, we want to challenge you guys to rewrite your pattern. All right? If today's episode hit you in the childhood a little bit, kind of hit you in that gut, you're like,
Hit you in
oh,
the
that's me.
childhood.
Oh, I get
Hit
that
your
from my mama.
childhood.
Oh, I get that from my daddy. Damn, uncle, why you do me like that? Right?
And if you caught yourself saying, dang, I really do act like my mama. Dang, I did get that from daddy. Then we got a challenge for you.
Yeah. This
Pick-
week's table for two challenge is, go ahead, you tell them.
Pick one of the inherited patterns that you recognize today. Talk to your partner about how it shows up, then choose one new action that you'll try instead.
It could be communicating differently, apologizing sooner, taking accountability, or letting the ghost of your daddy run the whole relationship.
And listen, don't just think it. Drop it in the comments. Tell us your pattern you're breaking so we can cheer you on.
Definitely, y'all. We want y'all to comment. Let us know. We might read them on the air. You never know. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button. It tells YouTube you want more relationship talk like this. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're dropping gems every week, y'all, so we need y'all here. So go ahead and do that like thing, man. It makes me feel good, all right? Share with your partner or group chat because everybody has a childhood habit they need to unlearn.
Cheer us on so we can keep going, okay? We need to break the patterns. Remember, you can't change the past, but you can change the pattern. We're doing it too, every day.
Definitely are.
Okay?
This is Table for Two, and
We'll see you
y'all
at the next sit down.
y'all. Peace.
Deuce.
Love y'all.